Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Professor's Kitchen. No, again, I am not actually in the kitchen right now. I am in my office, but through the magic of video, I'm going to be in the kitchen in just a moment, making my most delicious favorite tacos in the whole world, my Korean pork tacos, ground pork tacos. And these tacos, this particular recipe was requested over at the Professor's Kitchen Facebook page. So if you have not joined me over on the Professor's Kitchen Facebook page, please make sure to join the madness over there and check out our hilarious Taco Tuesday memes. Maybe post your version of this particular recipe over there. If you'd like to share pictures of that with the rest of the group, that would be awesome. And if not, then just like and subscribe to the channel so that you can check out more recipes and join the fun. That would be fun. That would be really cool. You should do that. I'll leave the link to the Facebook page in the description box below. I will also include a link to the original recipe. This actually came from a meal subscription kit that I had years and years and years ago. And it was just one of those recipes that was really great. But if you know anything about ricing cauliflower, it is the messiest process in the world. And so recipes that call for like riced cauliflower or chopping up vegetables or shredding lettuce and cabbage and things like that, sometimes it just takes up too much time. And so I asked if anyone would be interested in seeing some easier than the out-of-the-box recipes, and that was the #1 requested video over on the Professor's Kitchen Facebook page. So again, I'll leave the link to the Professor's Kitchen Facebook page in the description box below, as well as the link to the original recipe for the Korean pork tacos. But you will get to see the modified, slightly easier version of this recipe. So check it out. So for this recipe, I start by adding some sesame oil to my hot wok. I love my wok rocks. I use it all the time for just about everything that I cook, especially things like this, which I usually need a little bit bigger of a pan to make enough for the entire family. I'll add a little bit of mirin to that. If you don't know what mirin is, it's basically just a rice seasoning. I've heard my mom say that it's kind of sweet, but I don't necessarily think that it is. And then I'll add some squeezed ginger. Now the recipe actually calls for you to grate ginger and grate other things and cut up things, and I just didn't have time for that. So I skipped that and added in some garlic and green onion that is already pre-diced. And I just get this in the freezer section, and I always manage to make the biggest mess with this. So I apologize. Oh, yeah, yeah, that's what happens pretty much every time I try to break things up inside of there. It just explodes everywhere, but I promise I'll clean that up for anybody that's OCD. I'll clean. I'll stir this on sort of a medium to high heat, and it's one of those things where you kind of want to mix it until the onions in there and the garlic are translucent, or until it becomes aromatic, whichever comes first. You don't want to fry it necessarily. And for those of you who are freaking out because it says pork in the title, you can use any kind of ground meat or ground meat substitute as well. I mentioned in sort of the intro that I often will rice cauliflower or use pre-riced cauliflower or pre-riced cauliflower and broccoli mix in with this, because we are basically children in the family and none of us really like eating vegetables all that much. So I'll often just buy it frozen and already riced, and I'll hide those diced vegetables inside, those riced vegetables inside of the ground meat. So this time I've chosen to use a pork and beef mix. I've only ever seen this here in Germany. I don't know if it's a German thing, but it is absolutely delicious. So again, if you have something like this, you can use this or you can use a meat substitute. And of course, you just want to brown the meat. I'll then add in some gochujang, and this is Korean red pepper paste. We absolutely love all kinds of Korean food. We miss living in Korea so much. So you'll notice here I'm actually scraping the bottom of the gochujang because I use it that often, and especially in the Korean pork tacos. We love, love, love to make this recipe. So it is a fan favorite even among the children. I don't put that much red pepper paste in there because I am going to be feeding this to the kids and they're super sensitive about anything spicy. So I'll keep it kind of mild. You can add more obviously if you like it spicy. Next I'll add in some hoisin sauce. And this is also something that I just normally keep on hand in the refrigerator for this exact reason. It actually has kind of a bitter taste on its own, but when it's mixed in with everything else, it's so good. So, so good. And it kind of darkens everything up a little bit. Last but not least, I'll add in some dark brown sugar. Now you can use light brown sugar as well. It's entirely up to you. It does sweeten it up and it also thickens it up a little bit. So it's this sort of sticky, sweet, kind of spicy, like just a hint of spice tacos. Taco filling. Yum, yum. This is my favorite part. I honestly could eat just this all the time with just about everything. You can eat it with nachos, you can eat it with tortillas. Sometimes I'll just do a rice bowl and add the meat on top of cooked rice. Lastly, I'm going to complete the meal with rice and beans. And of course, you can either eat these on the side or in the taco, which is what I chose to do here. I'll put a little bit of adobo seasoning on the black beans just to give them a little bit of flavor. Not too much, just a touch. And we'll put that on the back of the stove to cook while the meat is still kind of simmering. At this point, it's pretty much done cooking, but try and keep it warm. And then again, easy enough to add some Uncle Ben's rice, 10 minutes in the pot, and it's done, which is a whole lot easier than, of course, using like a rice cooker or having to rinse sticky rice and all those things. I usually warm up my tortillas in here. So I will go ahead and pull those out and fold them. My German tortillas, they're just as good as the American ones. They're great. And I got the really big ones. So technically I'm making burritos, I guess, instead of tacos. It's not really Taco Tuesday. It's taco-like. So my husband and I can probably eat one whole one of each of these, and then the kids will usually split one, though my son, again, absolutely loves this recipe. So sometimes he will eat an entire taco, or he'll eat his and then he'll ask for his sister's. All right, back to business. Gotta love a dance break. Last up, plating everything. I am going to go ahead and show you plating my husband's taco first, or his burrito first, because, I put him first in just about everything. Plus, he's the only one that's really likely to eat all of his food. He loves these tacos. So add the black beans and then the ground meat on top of that.
And I'll just set that aside until I'm ready to add the rest of the ingredients. If you want to add a little bit of spice, which I always do, mix up some sriracha mayo. Again, this is one of those things that if you don't have time for this, you can skip this step, or if you don't like spicy things, you can skip this step. Or if you have pre-made sriracha mayo, then go for it. Save yourself some time and use the pre-made sriracha mayo. As you can see, we use lots and lots of sriracha as well. It's right up there on the grocery list with the Korean red pepper paste. I am almost out. I need to get some more. I usually have a backup bottle, to be honest, because I can never run out of sriracha. I love it. I put it on eggs and in tacos and all sorts of things, like so many different things. I can't even name them all. We absolutely love, love, love sriracha. Just to let you know, I'm also going to include the list of the different items, Pampered Chef items that I've used in this video, because again, I'm realizing as I'm watching this, I use quite a few. I use a lot of Pampered Chef stuff, so I'll put a link to my friend's Pampered Chef consultant page in the description box. All right, so I drained the rice, and I'm just going to pour it back into the same pot. And I left just a little bit of water in there so it doesn't burn on the bottom of the pot. And I'll add some sesame oil to that, as well as nori rice seasoning. I think it's called fukoyaki. I'm probably saying that incorrectly, but I'm pretty sure it's called fukoyaki. And you can put as much or as little of that in as you want, or none if you don't like rice seasoning, or if you don't like seaweed. It has nori in there, so I pretty much coat it until it turns green because I love the taste of it. The kids love the taste of it. Everyone in the house loves the taste of it, so we just go for it. And that's probably one of the best things about this dish. All right, last couple of things. Grated cheese. So the burrito already has the rice and beans and meat on it, and it just needs a little bit of cheese. Again, this is one of those things you can use vegan cheese if you want, or you can leave the cheese off altogether. You can use Mexican cheese or use pre-shredded cheese to save yourself some time. I didn't do that, but that's okay. It still didn't really take this long. It didn't take very long at all. There's my little toddler. The girl child always, both kids come in to check on me, make sure that I'm not making anything disgusting for dinner, as they like to tell me sometimes. I never make anything disgusting, but they seem to think that everything, almost everything except for tacos, is something disgusting. They don't want to eat it. And there it is. That is my husband's burrito. I'm going to add some chips on his plate. And I'll also add some extra, I'll put the rest of the sriracha mayo on the side for him. Now for the kids, obviously, again, I don't add anything too spicy to theirs, so I'll just grate some cheese on top of that. Again, you can skip this step if you want to, or you can use a different kind of cheese, or you can use pre-shredded cheese to save yourself some time. The recipe, the original recipe, also calls for slaw, and that is simple enough to make. But instead of shredding the vegetables, I just buy the pre-made slaw in a bag, and I add a little bit of sesame oil and lime juice, and then some salt and pepper and green onions to that, and just kind of mix it up, let it sit for a while before I put it in there. There's the big kid. He's coming to check things out. He's super excited about dinner. Yay, mommy dinner. And everything has to meet his approval. He had to make sure that I didn't put anything on there that he didn't want on his burrito. He was quite satisfied with it, I promise. It is kid approved. Again, not too spicy. Everything is inside of it, so hopefully the idea is if they can't see it, then they can't complain about it. But they're pretty smart kids, so. I will finish off their plates with Annie Chan's seaweed snacks because why not? keeping it Asian. It's a complete Asian meal with seaweed on the side. And that was my husband's lovely, loving touch. And that's it, all done. This whole thing took about 20 minutes, so it's super fast. Hope you enjoy. Ciao for now.